So what do you do to continue to educate and grow your mind and your knowledge? What are you doing?
I am spending as much time around with as much time as I can. I spend around people that know more than me. I like to say I want to be around people that have forgotten more than I know. And so I love to it's funny. It's as simple as I like to go to the barns in the morning and I hear from all these old horse trainers and I ask them questions that you might be like, why are you asking that question? Like I heard a guy the other day say, he's like, yeah, he's done it for 30 years. He was an assistant trainer to his brother. His brother is one of the greatest trainers of all time. And assistant trainers don't get any of the glory. They do almost all the work though. So this is an experienced dude, right? And he goes, yeah, I've just found that horses that have bad feet also have breathing problems. And he goes, I don't know why. 30 years of training though. And he goes, and I'm not saying they start as bad feet, but if a breathing problem shows up, he's like, check their feet. I bet their feet are also really sore. And I was like, why do you think that is? And he goes, I think it's stress. That's like, they don't put that in books. Okay. That's not on Google. That's such a small thing that I could start to recognize, man, you know what? We got a horse that's stressing. His feet feet are not looking good. We should watch his breathing. That's a kind of maybe is a silly example, but I love stuff
No, I
like
think
that.
it's spot on, man. No, it's spot on. I think see that's not something that I don't think someone's going to write that in a book. And I don't even know if he knew in the moment. He obviously knows it's something he's figured out. But I don't know,
Yeah.
me not even being in the horse industry, me hearing that, it's like, man, that might be one of the 20 best pieces of advice that I put into my brain that I go out here and build. Because then it would be like, well, hey, this we're going to buy this horse, but like what do his parents, like what are its parents' feet like?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
To evaluate and be like, huh, are there yeah, right?
There's these nuggets that you start
Yeah.
to pull together, these little moments of these little kind of bits of gold that you can get from people. And the other thing that I found is if you really listen to people, like really listen, and you got somebody that's more experienced than you, and even if sometimes I just shut up, I don't even ask questions. I'm just sitting there like a sponge listening, which is funny because I love to talk. I'm happy to talk. I also do not need to speak. Like if there's a meeting and something's being said, like I don't feel the need to add. There's so much that you can learn and improve from if you get yourself in proximity with people that have gone before you that and that are great at what they do. I think you're the average of the people that you spend time around, and I want to be around people that know more, have done more. And by the way, sometimes it's not just like, oh, I want to be around the goats. Like I want to be around people that'll make me a better person too. And maybe that's a man or a woman that hasn't done anything remarkable with their career, but is a great dad or a great mom or, a great leader. Whatever. Um, and,
Do you intentionally seek those people out or do you just find them?
yeah, probably a little bit of both. I think I'm a little bit more of a shoot from the hip kind of person. I wish that I was more proactive and intentional with certain things. Like I think I'm kind of like one of those guys I've jumped so many times and constructed my own parachute and it's worked that it's like been its own self-fulfilling prophecy, where it's like, oh man, I'm going to get better at planning. And then I do a thing and I'm like, well, man, I didn't really plan for that at all. And it went okay. So, and it's like, chase. But no, I've just been fortunate to kind of bump into these people. And I also like to make it, there are a couple people that are kind of outside my network that I actually have on a list right now that I want to reach out to and be like, hey, can we start getting breakfast once a month? Because I think there's a lot that I could learn from them. So I am trying to push myself to do that. But the people that I'm around right now are just people that I've identified that it's like, that person has something that you don't. And you know what? I think that you grow a lot if put yourself in a position to shut up and listen to them.
So what so you're talking a little bit about an it factor.
Yeah.
It's tough to explain what it is. Do you believe in that when you see they've got it?
Yeah, no, I think it's true. Because look, there are horses like that. And this is one of the things that I love about horses, that horses have taught me so much about people. There are people and there are horses that just stand heads above the rest. You know, this day and age, we don't love to say stuff like that. But it's true. You know, what I like to do is like, I like to pick horses that make me go like, whoa. Not a horse I'm like, yeah, it's a nice horse. I want a horse that makes me go like, I have to have it or it's going to make me sick. You know, our horse that won in the Belmont, like I saw his picture and video for the first time and I was like, we have to have that. Mage, our Kentucky Derby winner. I saw him in the flesh for the first time and I was like, done. That's an excellent horse. And so I think that people absolutely have it. And it's, you know, and I think it can present itself in a lot of different ways. But I think that those people have a specific set of traits. It can, of course, be different traits, but that come together in such a way that there's either a magnetism or I'm like wanting to articulate it, but it's hard to articulate. I think it's a little bit tough, like quality. Right? Like look at an expensive piece of furniture. Steve Jobs always used to talk about this with design, right? Sometimes you don't know why it's better, but you can always tell when something has more quality. Like you just can. It's like there's something. There's just something that makes it look like, man, some more time and attention went into this than something else. IKEA furniture can look great, but when you touch it, you feel it. You know, it's like, man, there's nothing quite like the genuine article.
So what do you think makes us able to identify it? What's that strength? What's that characteristic?
I don't know. You know, my kind of funny quirk is that, so I love to impersonate people. It's my little like comedic shtick. I pick up on people's kind of nuances and quirks like almost instantly. So individualization is one of my, you know, kind of Clifton StrengthsFinder top 5 traits. So I very quickly notice what people's kind of what they bring to the table. It just happens for me.
Is it an intuition?
Yeah, I think it probably is. I think that I'm very sensitive, so I pay attention to, and I love to figure out what makes people tick, because I think it makes it easier to work with folks. You know, like we're all so different and it's tough. I think one of the hardest parts about business is working with, it's the people. And I love people. I actually genuinely enjoy, I'm an extrovert. I love relating with people. Like that's part of what I love about my business. And it's one of the hardest parts about our business, in any business. I mean, it'd be a lot easier.
Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard for you? Like when you say that it's hard, because I'm not disagreeing at all. I actually agree. I try not to agree too much in these podcasts, because it's like, hey, this is about you, your perspective, what you're building and what you're doing. But why is it hard? Why is that the hard part of business?
I think because people, we all have our own struggles, right? We're all great at representing our own point of view. And I think it's very easy for us to get lost inside of that. And, you know, the world is tense right now. It's, you know, and we all have our quirks and our positives, our negatives. And when the reality is people are messy. And when somebody brings their whole self or even part of their self, they're going to bring their mess with them, myself included. And when you're in business, you have to deal with that mess.